They say children are your legacy, but sometimes children become your greatest betrayal. My daughter, Claire, was my world. I raised her alone after her mother passed away. Every birthday, every recital, every college tuition check, I was there. I gave her everything I never had growing up. So imagine my shock when I found out she had been hiding a husband from me. It started with whispers. A neighbor mentioned seeing her with a man wearing a ring. At first I thought it was nonsense, but one weekend I followed her after she said she was studying with friends. Instead, she drove to a house across town. I watched as she walked in hand with a man I'd never seen before. My chest tightened. The next day I confronted her. She broke down, confessed. Yes, she was married, secretly, for almost 6 months. And she didn't tell me because she knew I would judge him. But the truth was worse. Her husband wasn't just anyone. He was the son of a family that had tried to buy into my business years ago. A shady deal I walked away from. They hated me for it. And now my daughter had tied herself to them. Still, I tried to keep calm. Until she dropped the real bomb. Dad, we need your help. You should put some of your fortune into my husband's family's company. It's our future now. You owe me that. Her words cut like glass. She didn't ask. She demanded. I stared at her, this girl I raised, and realized she didn't see me as her father anymore. She saw me as a bank. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I simply nodded and told her I'd think about it. Then I got to work. First, I investigated. Private investigators dug into her husband's family. What I found was disgusting. Fraud, tax evasion, fake charities, and lawsuits buried in settlements. They weren't just greedy. They were criminals. So I built my trap. Weeks later, I invited them all to my estate for dinner. Claire, her husband, his smug parents. They arrived in designer suits, already acting like they owned the place. We sat at the table, and her husband leaned in with a grin. So, about the transfer, when can we expect it? I smiled. Funny you should ask. The papers are ready. He nearly choked on his wine. His parents beamed. Claire sighed with relief. But then I snapped my fingers. My lawyer walked in. Behind him, 2 federal agents. The room went silent. I slid a folder across the table. Inside were every fraudulent document, every shady transfer, every offshore account tied to their names. Collected, notarized, undeniable. The agents read them their rights as my daughter screamed, "Dad, what are you doing?" Her husband and his parents were taken out in handcuffs that night. Their empire collapsed within days. As for Claire, she collapsed on the floor, sobbing, begging me to fix it. I lifted her up, looked her in the eyes, and said, "I raised you to know better. But you chose greed. From this day on, you live with your choices." I didn't cut her off completely. I gave her a small apartment, enough to live on, but no access to the fortune. The trust remains sealed, managed by me, safe from her and anyone else. Now I sit in the same house where I raised her, surrounded by the empire I built. The silence hurts sometimes, but I'd rather feel pain than be destroyed by betrayal. Because betrayal doesn't just come from strangers. Sometimes it comes from your own blood. And when it does, you'd better be ready to strike back harder. So here's your lesson. Don't let love blind you to loyalty. Family can break you, or you can be the one who teaches them what survival really looks like. If this story cut deep, subscribe now. The next tale of betrayal and ruthless revenge will leave you speechless. Stay sharp. Stay legendary.